Cloic, Radro Kimball, Rocket Josh, Drunk 242, and Milzkita, and Ganktacular. Thank you very much for the follows. Welcome to the channel. Okay, so mission successful. We recruited the 2 extra units we needed. And it's now saying go and attack the mines of Nanyang. So we'll go and do that. If we complete this, we gain 100 treasury, and we'll also gain the Iron Curse icon, which is a magic item, a common one, but still magic. So again, we're going to hover over the mines of Nanyang. We're going to check that this is green. It is. We can reach. We'll go ahead and do it. Find the lack of dwarves disturbing. We just haven't found any yet. They are there. So this is our army. This is their army. This is going to be a village defense fight. So we're attacking, they're defending. And this means that it's going to be like a mini siege, effectively. They will have choke points and things. They shouldn't have gates and towers. Sorry, they shouldn't have wall towers, and they shouldn't have gates. So there will always be openings that we can get through. But what they can do is start building barricades and defenses within the city itself. So they will start generating defensive supplies, which they can then spend on building barricades, walls, towers, traps, monuments, things like that, which will have various effects on the battlefield. The game is saying this is probably going to be a Pyrrhic victory. If we auto-resolve this, we would lose the Peasant Cavalry, one of the Jade Warriors, and the Peasant Long Spear, so we're going to see if we can do better than that. But it would probably result in a Pyrrhic victory, though we would take medium casualties. Let's go ahead and fight this battle, and we shall see how it looks. Katie wants me to drink some tea. There are 106 factions in the game. That seems like a lot. There are. By about 20 turns in, it's going to have dropped down to about 80, though. A lot of those factions are like rebels, which the major powers will be gobbling up pretty quickly. There'll be a couple of minor powers around still, like the other Cathayan factions. Not the rebels, the like Celestial Guardians. And yes, wandering armies also count as factions. As do, like, caravan ambushes. Okay, so once again, I'm just going to press Start Deployment, and then we can take a look at the battlefield. So this time around, our green deployment area goes all the way around the city. We can deploy absolutely anywhere here that we want. The interior of the city, you can see, is made up of these narrow routes, which means it's very easy for defenders to set up choke points. It is generally just a very, very different type of battle to the open field ones. And then we have these points here. These are control points, supply locations. And for every one of those supply locations that the defender controls, the amount of supplies they generate will trend upwards. So if they control all 4 of them, they will get a lot of supply. They will be able to build a lot of defensive structures. So it is our goal as the attackers to take these as quickly as possible. Then finally, there is also a key building, which is this central area, and this is buffing their entire army with 15% more melee attack, 15% more melee defense, and also plus 10 leadership, just a flat plus 10 leadership. So if we manage to take this point, then that buff is gone. The other thing you'll notice from each of these locations is these arrows pointing out, or these lines pointing out to various locations. Those are the defensive buildings. So this minor supply location can only build a couple of barricades. It's not actually that dangerous. Then if we go to this one has 1 tower and 2 barricades. Towers are dangerous. They hurt like hell. This one is a really important location. It leads to 2 towers and 7 barricades. So taking this is of really high importance. This one is 1 tower and 2 barricades, and that's all of them. So the one that we really want to go after is this. So we generally want to hit the center of this town hard, and then basically try to split this half away from this half. So with that in mind, we should probably start placing some units. Just seeing if there's any other obvious weak spots. I mean, if we attack here, we can beeline half of our units over to that fortification, that supply point, and then the others over here. And we could do the same here. So in fact, I think what we're going to do is we're just going to attack these 2 locations, half on one side, half on the other. So if we select you, and you with Miao Ying, I'm going to put you in one group, and then the rest of you are going to be in group 2. So group 1, I'm just going to stick you there just so I know where you are. Group 2, I'm going to stick you over on this side, again so I know where you are. And then we're going to deploy more properly. So group 1, we have got Jade Warriors and the Celestial Dragons. We're going to deploy you in a fairly narrow formation to make sure that we can get through the entrance. We're going to put our gunners at an angle, because the important thing with the gunners to note is they shoot horizontally. They cannot arc arrows and bolts over, unlike the crossbows you can. So put the crossbows here. Sky Junk will stick here near the entrance, and then Miao Ying here in the front. Miao Ying is actually a really good fighter, so having her in the front makes a lot of sense. So as long as we keep these guys moving together, the Iron Hail Gunners and the Celestial Dragons and the Sky Junk, these are all Ying units, and then these two are Yangs. Keep them together, they'll fight really well. Then over here on this side, we have got the Peasant Spears and the Jade Warriors. We'll place there. We've got one Iron Hail Gunner, which I think we'll place over on this side. Crossbows can be just behind. Cavalry we'll have behind you. And then the Garius the Brit, our Astromancer, can be... Actually, you're not a close combat fighter. You're a wizard, Harry, who goes there. And we can see that he has got access to Harmonic Convergence. This is a different spell, so he is of the Law of the Heavens. Miao Ying is a bit of a weird one. She's a lord. Lords sometimes pick and choose between different laws. That's all preset, by the way. You can't choose that. But her choice of magic is a bit more eclectic, whereas heroes will always be of one law. So Garius the Brit is Law of the Heavens, which means that he gets access to things like Harmonic Convergence. And Harmonic Convergence is a melee defense buff and a melee attack buff. +24/+24, single target. Is there any benefit to locking control groups? Usually if you want to keep your formations moving as one, you can lock them. And then they'll move as that formation. I usually keep them unlocked because then I can just hold down control and do the same thing. Sorry, alt. Hold down alt and do the same thing. So again, for those of you who were not here before, there are 2 hotkeys which I find a lot of Total War players, new and old, don't know about, and they are really important. So the first one is alt. If you hold down alt and you have a set of units selected, you can move that whole formation around. So on the deployment screen, you just put them in the new place. When you're actually fighting, they will move to those formation locations. Then the other one is if you hold down alt and control at the same time, if you hover over just one of the units, you can rotate them on that axis. Or if you have alt out to a different location, then you hold down control, you can rotate them once they arrive in that position. Really important hotkeys to know. Okay, so I think we are ready to go. We're going to go ahead and press start battle. We're then going to immediately pause. And the reason I pause straight after starting the battle is you can't see in sieges where their units are deployed until you actually start the fight. So we can see that there's a unit of Jade Warrior crossbows here. We can see that they've built a couple of barricades to block us coming in from over there. They've got a something building here. That looks like a trap, perhaps? They've got their Jade Warrior crossbow halberds here. They've got some cavalry here. And then they have a unit of archers and Jade Warriors. Did they build any towers? They did not. They've only built the walls. Okay, that's very good for us. So then our rocket launcher. We're going to tell you to shoot those Jade Warrior crossbows. And I might even just... No, the cavalry on the other side, aren't they? Can't use you yet. I think what I might do... is tell the gunners to go after the warriors, and tell the peasant archers to go after their peasant archers. And then we'll bring the swordsman to stand here in the center. We'll put the cavalry just behind them, and then the wizard here. Then on the other side, we'll tell the sky junk to shoot those Jade Warriors, although you may need to move over a little bit. Move you to here. Then we'll tell you to shoot. Then we'll bring in the... You know what? I'm actually going to do this with the Celestial Dragons. We'll tell the Celestial Dragons to go and attack the Jade Warriors. And then these three can move up to about here. I could even really screw with them and have the Miao Ying become a dragon. Might actually do that early.
I embody the Emperor's will. Serve me and serve him. He shall reward victory.
So I'm going to wait until you're in position. We're then going to tell you to attack. And then hopefully you have a slightly better angle of shooting at these guys so you don't just hit the building in front. I think we do. So let's go and see if this works. Here comes the first volley. Beautiful. Big booms all around. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. No, let's just chill there. Let these guys come forwards and do their thing.
Wind and fire. It pleases the dragon.
The celestial daughter.
Guys, may as well just continue moving up, to be quite honest.
Shen Yang sends us.
So you've decided to garrison that barricade, fair enough. You may as well force march, just to get you a little bit closer. And you should be able to get a really good shot off against these guys. Crossbows are firing as well.
Will of the dragons.
Iron Hell Gunners, come on, get a volley, get a volley, get a volley. There we go. Now, it looks like you're actually trying to get into combat with me, so let's move our close combats up, and we'll move the gunners back, because they are not very good in close combat.
I stand ready.
And we're going to tell the Jade Warriors and the Spearmen to go ahead and charge, and we're going to go ahead and buff the Jade Warriors with Harmonic Convergence, which will increase their melee attack and defense. And there they go, they're in battle. Now, because we're actually on the flank, we can tell you to shoot them. They're running, they've broken already. That was a really good move. Okay. You should be guard mode.
With pride.
Otherwise, you're going to get into range of those archers, and I do not want that to happen.
Gairan's fury.
Let's have Miao Ying become a dragon. We're going to put you into fighting mode.
Crossbowman.
Never conquered.
And they're actually building a tower here that we need to be wary of.
The Storm Dragon.
And we'll send you after their archers, I think.
Thoughts in harmony.
So these guys are running away. So one important thing to note is the direction you're facing matters with shields. So because their shields are in front of them and we're shooting into the back, those shields have no effect. That shielded bonus does not apply. Locking groups does something Alt doesn't do when they move. They move at the slowest unit speed. Ah! I didn't actually realise that.
As one. Attack in unison.
Minds as one. Crossbowman.
Stone and steel.
These guys are getting absolutely shattered. Let's have you guys move forwards. See if we can get a solid volley into them to just break them. Right.
Attack in unison.
The heavens await.
Where are these guys going? Oi! Come on, get your shots off. Shoot them! Did not do nearly as much damage as I'd hoped.
Defend the realm.
Fight as one.
Okay, so these archers are not having the greatest of times. Gunners are shooting into the back of them. It's actually a pretty cool view.
Pew, 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 pew.
You can see that they're using like blunderbusses. These things are huge. They are shooting into the back of them. Okay, that's good. I mean, what we kind of want to do is get one of our close combat units to start occupying this position. Now, because they're hitting this area so hard right now, it's going to be a bit harder to do. Let's have you shoot them. I'm wondering if we break through these units, whether the cavalry is going to be able to just storm through. Although they've set up barricades everywhere. This place is fully defended, so we would need to knock those barricades down. So let's go and tell the Skyjunk to shoot that instead. Artillery is very good at destroying structures, so they should be good at this.
Never conquered!
Spears! Defend the realm!
Iron hail gunners!
Oh, the cavalry is broken through somehow.
Report in ordered ranks!
Let's position the
Bring
guns here.
sent by dragons!
You guys are running, that's good. And then I think what I'm going to do is get the Celestial Dragon Guard to attack this too. And then we have Miao Ying. Actually, you know what? You go up to their general. He's a wizard. They're not going to hold up to this. And my cavalry can now go through here and attack this. Likewise with you two.
Shen Yang sends us!
Stone and steel!
Sinyang's faithful. Repositioning.
Alright, we're basically in now, so we're just going to tell our units to advance.
Never conquered!
Order and the balance!
Restore order! Marching as one! March in ordered ranks!
Tell you to hold your fire. How are you so— oh, you're being shot by the tower. Who did? That's not good. Let's back you right off, because I do not want this unit dying. That would be tragic. It's not going to take us long to get through this. And as soon as we take the central point, anything which is attached to that supply point gets destroyed.
Stone and steel!
So the faster we get through this, the less likely you are to be destroyed. So let's break through that barricade and then just attack.
Peasant spearmen! March in ordered ranks! Seeking Cathay's bones! Master of Tempest!
Well, Celestial Dragon Guard get there. But their entire army is shattered. So they have given up. They lost too many troops because we did a really good job of just shooting them. So this battle is done. And as soon as the battle is called in a siege, all of their defenses are destroyed. So they can't shoot at you anymore. Which also means you have carte blanche to just go after the units. But honestly, it's a siege, which means everything's dead anyway. So we'll just go ahead and end that. And there we go. We lost 63 units. Unfortunately, we did lose half of the health of the Skyjunk, which was a problem. But we'll regain that in time. They lost 588 to our combined arms. In fact, the Dragon Crossbows, 224 kills. Actually, the Iron Hails did alright. Iron Hails I find are very hit or miss. They're either really good or really bad. So we gained some money at the end of that. We gained some experience. And we gained the Potion of Strength. Boom. So Miao Ying is now actually level 3 from all of the experience gained from this. And then once the battle is over, you have a choice of what you want to do with the settlements. You can either occupy it, you can loot and occupy it, you can sack it, or you can raise it. Occupying just means you straight up just take it. Loot and occupy means you damage the buildings, then you take the city, also causing some control issues. I don't think I've ever actually looted and occupied, ever. If you're going to take it, you may as well just take it. Sacking it means that you take a bunch of money, but you leave the city still standing and still in the hands of the guy you just took it from. There are some factions which are basically raiding factions, like Norska is a great example, and some Chaos, like Khorne. Very often you just want to sack their buildings. You're just there to do some damage, steal their stuff, and then get out. And then finally raise it, which is destroying that city entirely so that it's ruined and needs to be rebuilt. But we're going to go ahead and occupy.
Make a watchtower of it.
So we gain the Potion of Strength. The sludgy black liquor in this stern glass flask is a potion of strength, allowing the drinker to cause devastating damage. We have succeeded in this mission. We gained the Iron Curse icon and also some money. This enchanted item, made from the cannonball that killed the infamous necromancer Gabriel Dumort, grants the wielder advantage when facing missile attacks from war machines. So it gives us a 10% missile resist. And we now need to take out the complete Gunpowder Road. So if we just click on one of these towns, we can see that this is the province of Gunpowder Road. We need to take the rest of it, so that means we need to take out Nunli, which is down here. Now, we have finally leveled up, so we're going to click on Miao Ying. We're then going to click on this, and you can see that we have this little up arrow. That means we have some points to spend.
Warden of the Great
And we can
Bastion.
now see a little bit more of a difference here, though I'm actually noticing that they've completely removed the... Oh no, they haven't really... Never mind. We have different skills, and you can see from the background of the icon what type of skill it is. So blue is utility. Blue is usually like movement speed on the campaign map, reduction in enemy control, increasing your own control, replenishing faster, reducing the amount of attrition you suffer, that type of thing. The red line is general skills, as in being a general, being a commander skill. These will buff your entire army. Then we have the green, well actually it depends on the law of magic, but then you have your magic skills, which are also often yellow. This is buffing yourself up as a wizard. And then finally you have the yellow skills, which is buffing yourself up as a fighter. Because remember, a lot of lords are really, really good fighters or really, really good wizards, as well as being the general. And then finally you have a couple which are still locked. These are usually locked behind a rank restriction, so we can't get the Aura of Majesty until we hit level 12. But it is still worth taking a look at this to see what these will grant. So for example, the Aura of Majesty will impose a melee defense penalty on any enemy lords or heroes around this character. Harmonious will increase relations with other Cathayan factions, will increase control and decrease corruption. Reinforced Bastion means that Great Bastion buildings are going to be 40% cheaper. Master of Storms means that Earthblood upgraded, Flesh to Stone upgraded, and Regrowth upgraded, those are a bunch of her spells, are then cheaper to cast, and you have a cooldown reduction for the Law of Spells. Opposer of Chaos increases melee defense and ward save for your entire army. See, Lord's army is everyone that she commands. Whenever you're fighting against Norska, Warriors of Chaos, the Demons of Chaos. Imposing Range increases the range of all missile units in her army. Persistent Fire decreases the reload speed for all missile units. And then finally, the Eye of the Storm is a big self buff when she is in Dragon stance. It will increase her base weapon damage, her armor piercing damage, and the melee attack. Now, the last time I played as Miao Ying, I made her into a fighter. I think that was a bit of a mistake. I think I should have made her into a mage. So this time we're going to go ahead and upgrade Earthblood. This will increase the strength of the regeneration spell. It will increase the amount of regeneration done, and it will also unlock the overcast mechanic. So you'll see there we have the blue double up. That means if we overcast, so if we double click when we're casting instead of single clicking it, it will have increased the duration. So instead of it lasting... Unfortunately, it doesn't actually say here what the effect duration is. It'll last like 7 seconds instead of 14, something like that. And every second we heal up 0.8% of the maximum hit points without restoring models. So Earthblood is very powerful, more powerful on units with few models and lots of hit points, like trolls, giants, ogres, that type of thing, because it can't resurrect. Now, we actually had 2 points to spend here, so the second point I'm going to put onto Route Marcher, just because it's a campaign movement, and campaign movement is basically never a bad choice. So we're going to go ahead and grab that.
Fit for the dragon's daughter.
Then Garius the Brit has also leveled up. We've got the little up arrow there. So we're going to click on him, we're going to click on his skill upgrade, and we can see that he has got a different set of skills. A very particular set of skills. So we can upgrade Harmonic Convergence, which will add an armor buff to that single target buff, and then that will also set us onto the track of different spells. And I really like the Law of the Heavens, actually. They're very, very good. For example, your Unknown's Thunderbolt is a really good bombardment spell for taking out just large chunks of units. He himself has the trait Harmonizer, leadership +4 when fighting against chaos for all units in that army, and then +1 yin. It's not the best buff, but it's also not a bad one. And then we're going to upgrade his scouting ability. So remember, when he joined the army, so the assist army ability, he added a 10% chance of magic drop item chance. He's now going to buff that by another 5%. So if he is with the army, we're getting more magic items. That sounds like a win-win to me. Meanwhile, we are now in the mines of Nanyang. Usually, fighting a siege will end that unit's movement. So we can see that even though Miao Ying would only have used about half of her movement to get here, she loses the rest of it because of the siege. There are some factions that don't have this. For example, Khorne, Skarbrand can usually move after sieging somebody, but Cathay can't. Instead, we are going to stay in the mines of Nanyang to replenish. And if we hover over the green pluses, we can see how much health we are regaining because of this. So we're gaining 507 hit points for Miao Ying, which will bring her back up to full health. Most importantly here, though, is everyone, the yellow bar is how much health you're regenerating, is going to be at full strength with the exception of the Sky Junk, though it is going to regain about half of what it lost. So it's actually earning 2,300 hit points, which is quite a lot for just staying here. And we can recruit some more units. So we have now unlocked access to Jade Warriors, probably because Nanyang has the training camp already built. So very often when you capture a province, it will have stuff there already, and you may want to destroy it, which you can use this demolish building button, which will recoup you a bit of the money, and then build something new. But actually the fact that this place has the training camp is really good. And I would very much like to have some more Jade Warriors, because they're great frontliners. So we'll go ahead and train those. While you are garrisoned in the city, you can also access the global recruitment, just like you could if you were encamped. And again, this is going to take longer to recruit because those units are having to arrive from somewhere else, and the cost is increased, virtually doubled. So again, it's pretty much always better to just local recruit, unless you're really pressed and you're in a hurry. We can upgrade the Bamboo Scaffold Depot to increase the amount of growth, and also decrease the construction cost in the future. That seems like a good investment. Cost 900. Done. Does the Terracotta Graveyard have a special unit for the Terracotta Sentinel? No. It would have the strategic landmark. I always forget what they're called. Strategic location icon there if there was a special thing in Terracotta Graveyard. There isn't.